Can you imagine the way it smelled? But okay. All right. So today is Thursday. It's going to be a beautiful day, everybody. All right. When I call your name, please let me know if you're here. If you don't respond, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Elsa Morales. Thank you. Rodolfo Aceves. Yay. Thank you. In custody, Eric Johnson, Armando Rodriguez, Humberto Chavez, Jose Gomez, Marlon Simeon. All right. Renee Garza. No, Renee Garza Jr. Renee Garza Jr. Jose Ramirez is in custody. John Carlo Armstrong. Henry Knight, custody. Thomas Polly, custody. Luis Cordero, custody. Patrick Sanchez, custody. Jesus Garza. Eduardo Garza. All right, thanks. Laura Gallegos, custody. Michael Herrera. In custody is Kenan Brown, Eric Gonzalez Lopez, Fräulein Guzman Velasquez, Kenan Brown, Juan Carranza, custody. Aran Bawani, custody. Shane Riley. You're Shane Riley? Okay. Did we take care of Juan Soto Victorino?
No, it was Juan Anthony.
Okay. All right, custody. Fernando Espinoza, custody. Lazaro Estrada, custody. Fernando Espinoza, custody. Renee Gardia.
She's present with confirm.
Thank you. Arturo Villanueva. Thank you. Shalise Snitz. Thank you. Jonathan Oleg, custody. Jose Gonzalez, custody. If there's a Lisa Talise. All right, your case is going to be reset for September 25th at your attorney's request. So if you'll come forward, the court reporter will give you your reset form. Sean Chrisman is at 11, Jerron Carford, 11, Theodore Thansuk, 11, Hong Wins, 11, Jose Angel Ruiz, custody. Oh, yes, I called her up. She's getting a reset form. Norma, this is Garza's client, and it's been reset for September 25th. All right, they'll get it, and then you'll be excused. All right, is there anyone? Hello. Good morning. Anyone who came in late or your name was not called? All right, these are the rules of the court. To my left, criminal trial division files. To my right, family violence files. As you all know, there's an uptick in COVID, uptick in flu, which I've just heard. There's an uptick in leprosy. I think Florida has a leprosy outbreak, so it's slowly making its way here. So if you will take your file from the box, place your file on the prosecutor's desk and have a seat, they're going to call you in the order in which they receive your file. To my right is Miss Abrams. He's reaching over already. All right. Do not hover around her desk. Do not put your items on her desk. That is her office. Do not turn your back to her because that is very rude. And she is sitting down when you turn your back to her. To my left is the court reporter. Do not put your items on top of her desk. Do not put your arms on her desk because she has very expensive equipment there. And that equipment is over $10,000. And like Pottery Barn, if you damage, you will have bought it. I will do an affidavit saying that you damaged, and I will do an affidavit saying that I have given everybody a warning. Do not put things on their desk. And if you put something in Vashon's office on her desk or try to take over her office, I will come down to your office at an inconvenient time and I will bring stuff with me to put on your desk and sit on your desk so you'll realize that should not be done. Do not approach the court unless you've conferred with your client and conferred with the state. And if you have a client who's in custody, yes, they need to be brought out, and yes, they need to be conferred with. If your client does not wish to speak in the English language, then you will need an interpreter. It does not matter if you speak the language or not. We do have an we do have an interpreter here. I'm not going to say one of my favorite interpreters because people get jealous, but wink, wink. So today is Thursday. In this court, we call it Friday's Eve. So please be kind to each other. Confer with kindness in your heart. Put a smile on your face because it's Friday's Eve. So everyone, please confer. Hi, how are you doing? We miss you. You know, yesterday we had so many people who needed interpreters. Oh, no. You know, they were just stationed. So, I'm sorry. Yes, all morning. You're so awesome. And you know what? You're welcome. Have a good one. Oh, you're welcome. Britain's not. The state opposes. Somebody's not trying. Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm all prepared.
No, she don't work for the day's office. She won't be upstairs.
Federal cut. I haven't verified. I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay. I know it's been reset a whole bunch of times. Oh, so we're gonna do. So is it?
Thank you. All right, Jason, do you know what's happened on Marlon, Simeon, Jason, or Daniel or Hank? All right, thank you. He's in federal custody.
That's right.
Good morning.
I can send a message to our clerk, see if we can find out.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, and Vachon, you said you have an update?
He was released from bond and he has a court date of 11/29.
Is it right?
Okay.
So he's not in custody at this moment.
All right, and what is he charged with on the federal side? Ah, thank you.
Do you mind? I'm sorry.
Okay. Jason, probation has an update. Do you mind if,
Are you his lawyer?
Yeah.
if you could have them look at that? And counsel, if you'll confer with Jason, please. Hunter,
Good morning, Judge.
good morning. How are you doing?
I'm gonna find Judge. Just going to steal some dismissals.
Oh, okay.
How are you?
Oh, doing great. Are you coming down to steal dismissal forms? Yeah, because we don't use those here.
Oh, okay. Mom watches?
Yes.
Mom.
Oh, mom misses you. She's like, where's my Hunter?
Thanks. I'm not gonna take this one. Thank you. See y'all. Have a good
All
day.
right, bye-bye. Have a good one. Second. Hi, Mom. Okay, I'll let him know. Bye-bye. Yes. Oh, yes.
Hey. Hey, what's going on? You had a big one. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Oh, and Hondo. Really? The same guy? That's fine. It didn't happen. Oh, no, no, no. I mean, I just figured that usually gets someone. Yeah. No, they have. That makes you feel better. That makes you feel a little bit better. Oh, okay.
Estoy hablando
Anyway, I have a guy. Small. Probation. Takes up to you. You, Mr. You.
All right, Norma, this case where you sent me this, is this, is it appointed? Call back down.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry.
How's your place?
Hmm?
How's your place?
Oh, it's good. It's coming along.
Damage not too extensive, I hope.
Oh, no, it was. So, yeah, but it's coming along. As my mom always says, if you have a problem that money can't solve, that's when you have a problem. So,
When you get a lot of problems.
mhm. But you know what? It doesn't solve health problems. Yeah, so that's what I say. And there are people who have more problems than I have, you know, and it's problems that money can't solve. Norma, if they can't send someone down, we can. Okay. All right, thank you. Hello? Yes.
Yeah.
The lady in the front with the juror's badge, with the juror badge, can you have her come around this way? All right, everyone, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. So please confer. Right, you ready?
Got Renee Gardea.
I'm sorry, who?
I've got Renee Gardea on the docket.
Mhm.
We had her examine her competency and miraculously she was able to answer the competency questions that she is seriously.
Okay. Yeah, you're whispering.
Well, I would like to see if I could get her screened for mental health pretrial diversion.
All right, if you have them pull the file.
Gardea, yeah. Renee Gardea, yeah.
All right, is she here? All right, have her come up. All right, everyone needs to whisper. All right, state. This is Renee Gardea. And on this case, they're going to see if she can be screened for one of the courts, mental health court.
Yes, sir.
All right, how long do you all think that will take, the screening?
Trish is going to email me an application today, Judge, so we could get it started quickly. I think probably a 45 day reset would be enough to see if we get in.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, if you can give me a 3-week reset and we'll just see where we are. And if we're still in the process and it hasn't been done, just come before that time and let the court know and we'll reschedule her. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. We'll be back on October 19th. Thank you. You're welcome. And are you ready on your case?
What?
Yes.
When we confer, there's nothing that we can do.
Okay. All right, could I see the parties on Marlon Simeon? Bashan, on Simeon? So your client is on bond,
That's what I understand.
so he needs to be here for court. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna recall it because maybe he didn't know. Norma, can we recall this for Tuesday? All right, so we're gonna recall this for Tuesday. If he doesn't show, he may end up having a warrant. And he's on bond on this case, correct? Obviously, if he's out and
I
about.
gather, I don't know, I've had no contact with him. I don't even know anything about it, so I'll look into it. Is that the only possible court date? I mean, that doesn't, I need to kind of track him down.
Oh, if you call the bondsman, because he's on bond.
Yeah, but it's a federal bond. I don't know about.
No. He's on bond for this case. Is he on bond for this case?
I have no idea. I'll find.
All right, if you,
I'll check with Norma.
yes.
Looks like it's a man without one.
Okay, so somebody needs to check and see if he's at the Bear County Jail then.
I called there like 2 weeks ago or a week ago and he wasn't there, so.
All right, well, if you call his officer in federal court, they'll probably have his contact information. So Norma, let's recall this for Thursday. If he's not here on Thursday,
Okay.
we will have issues. All right, September 28th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, is the interpreter here on Rodolfo Aceves? Are you already on Rodolfo Aceves? And is the witness here? All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 4580, State of Texas versus Rodolfo Aceves. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Miranda Carrillo for the state of Texas.
defense?
Johnny Cisneros from Mr. Aceves.
And are you Mr. Aceves?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we have an interpreter here. If you could raise your, excuse me, no talking in the box behind the court reporter. If you need to speak to your client while he's in the box, while we're on the record, you'll need to move to the other end. All right. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your
Oh,
Honor.
no, that is so not right. You're interpreting. I'm sorry. My mind is in three different directions. All right. But you will tell the truth.
Yes.
I'll represent her. Your Honor.
You're going to represent.
I don't need to. repeat.
Right.
I do, Your Honor.
All right. You're going to tell the truth that you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English. So help you God.
I do, Your Honor.
All right. You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Carmen Tarragona Sáez.
All right. So this hearing began on September 14th. And before the court made its decision, I wanted to hear from a witness. And my understanding that witness is present. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. If someone would call the witness in.
The state will call Ana Flores.
All right. And does she need an interpreter or no?
She does, Your Honor. So
Oh.
I don't think Mr. Sáez can hear me from here.
All right, Mr. Aceves, are you able to understand my questions in English or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so that will make things easier. So if both parties can remember, because the interpreter is interpreting everything, to wait till she finishes interpreting your question, just pause a little bit. And then after she finishes interpreting what the witness is saying, just pause a little bit. That'll make her job easier. All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you'll state your name for the record.
Ana Flores.
Ana Flores.
All right, state.
Morning, Ms. Flores. You've introduced yourself to the judge. Can you tell her how you know Mr. Rodolfo Aceves?
We work together
Where did you work?
En Amazon,
in Amazon.
DX7. No, DX7. DX7.
DX7.
What did you do at Amazon?
Limpieza.
Cleaning.
Is that what Mr. Aceves did as well?
Yes.
How long did you work with Mr. Aceves there?
Como por unos de 4 a 6 meses.
Between 4 to 6 months.
Did you spend each day with him?
Cuando nos tocaba trabajar juntos 8 horas.
When we had to work together 8 hours a day.
Who did you work under at Amazon? Was that someone related to Mr. Aceves?
¿Me repite la pregunta?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, who was your supervisor when you worked at Amazon?
El padre de Rodolfo.
Rodolfo's father.
So during these 4 to 6 months, did you get to know Rodolfo and his father fairly well?
Yes.
And did Rodolfo ever do anything or say anything to you that was concerning or upsetting to you during the times you worked together?
Yes.
Can you tell the court an example of one of those times?
Como le gustaban las armas.
He liked weapons.
Cuando hicieron hicieron un simulacro, él dijo como, mira, es buena idea hacer por la matanza.
When they did like a drill or simulation, he said it's a good idea to do the shooting.
Or when you say a drill or a simulation, were you referring to a fire alarm?
Una falla.
Yes, fire alarm.
When he made that statement to you, how did you feel?
Primero lo tomé como tonto.
At first, I thought it was silly,
Comenté con otra compañera
and I talked to another coworker, and
no eran, no es normal.
it's not normal.
Was there a time when you dropped off your child at school and he was with you?
Yes.
Did he say anything concerning you that time?
Bromeó diciendo que ya ahora sé a dónde voy a venir.
He joked saying, now I know where I'm gonna come.
Did he say what he meant when he said that?
Pues dijo como, oh, ya sé dónde voy a hacer pues la matanza y nada más le dije, cállate, no hables tonterías.
And he said, now I know where I'm gonna do the shooting, and I told him, shut up, don't say stupid stuff.
Did he ever say or do anything else like that? That worried you?
No hizo, sí.
No, he didn't do anything like that.
Do you remember what day of the week it was that the fire alarm occurred?
Un viernes,
A Friday.
Did you work that weekend?
al fin de semana.
Not on the weekend.
During that weekend, what was your thought process after hearing what he said?
Más era tonto lo que había dicho.
That it was stupid what he had said.
Cuando llegué el lunes al trabajo,
When I arrived to work on Monday,
comenté con mi compañera
I talked to a coworker,
y me dijo, eso es algo muy peligroso y lo tienes que reportar.
she said that is something very dangerous and you have to report it.
Did you report it at that?
Después vino el supervisor de Amazon que necesitaba hablar conmigo.
Afterwards, the Amazon supervisor came to me saying he needed to talk to me.
Was that supervisor different than Mr. Acevez's father?
Yes,
Did you have any concerns about reporting it, knowing that Mr. Acevez's father supervised you?
no,
Now moving forward, do you have any ongoing concerns for yourself or your family after this is resolved?
Sí.
yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Como que él piense que por mi culpa él está aquí.
I'm afraid he might think that it's my fault that he's here.
No lo hice con una intención mala.
I didn't do it with a bad intention.
Me puso en una situación difícil
He put me in a difficult position
porque yo a él lo estimo y no quiero que le pase nada malo.
because I care for him and I don't want anything bad to happen to him,
Ni a él ni a mí.
not to him nor me.
Press the witness, Your Honor.
Gracias.
Thank
Hi, Ms. Flores. I just introduced myself to you in person, but we've spoken on the phone in the last few days, have we not?
Sí.
And I think we've
Yes.
spoken on the phone 2 or 3 times. And-
Yes.
And each of the times that we spoke, we talked about the same thing. If you felt that this was serious or if he was just joking with you, and I kind of remember, or unless I misinterpreted, that you didn't report it because he was the type of person that would joke all the time, correct? Something to that effect?
Sí bromeábamos,
We did joke,
pero cuando él hacía esos comentarios siempre comenté a él, eso no es normal.
but when
No,
he
it's
made
not.
that kind of comment, I always said that is not normal.
And I,
Siempre le llamé la atención como una mamá o una
I always called it to the kids' attention like a mom.
Y yo no sé los pensamientos de cada quien.
I don't know anybody's thoughts.
And I believe we talked about that topic on one of the conversations that we had, did we not? And I remember asking you if you felt if he was more of a, if you had taken it as a joke or something like that, and you said you weren't really sure. And I'm just trying to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you weren't really sure if you were taking it seriously or not. If you would, yes.
No sé, no
Yes.
sé cómo lo estoy tomando él.
I don't know how he's taking it.
Okay. Now, he has been on bond for 16 months. In about 4 days, it'll be 16 months. And he was ordered by the court to stay at home and not leave the house for anything. And you mentioned a little bit about concern for you and your family. He has not contacted you, has he?
No.
Has
No.
anyone else contacted you about him other than me?
He hablado con su padre.
I have talked to his father.
Okay, and how did that come about?
Porque usted me habló y yo hablé con marqué a Rodolfo y le dije, me están contactando sobre tu
Y-
caso.
Because you called me and I called Rodolfo to tell him I'm being contacted about your case.
Y él dijo, pues haz lo que tengas que hacer y que sea lo que Dios quiera.
And he said, do what you have to do, and God knows what happens.
Y él de su parte me dijo, no estoy molesto contigo.
And he told me that he was not upset with me.
So other than your personal fear that Mr. Aceves Jr. could be upset with you, there's no indication or nothing that has happened to you to put you in any kind of fear other than you being worried that he may seek any kind of retaliation, correct?
Me han ocurrido cosas, pero yo
Things
no,
have happened to me,
yo no sé quién es.
but I'm not sure who it is.
But he's never contacted you and
No.
No,
his father's not angry at you.
No.
Okay,
no,
and
no.
and in fact, it sounds to me like his father and the family, because I've gotten to know the family, that they're religious. And do you believe that his parents raised him in the proper way?
I don't know.
Okay. And the last question I have for you, I believe would be the last question is, when I asked you what you thought about possibly him going to the penitentiary, and correct me if I'm wrong, I recall you telling me that you did not want him to go to the penitentiary. Am I correct?
Correcto. Yo creo que es muy joven
Correct. I think he's too young.
y a veces se nos hace fácil hablar.
And sometimes we think it's easy to just talk.
Y sí, él tiene una oportunidad. Yo estoy correcta. Yo
And,
estoy de acuerdo.
and if he gets an opportunity, I would agree with that.
Okay, no more questions, Your Honor.
All right, any further questions?
No further questions.
All right, I just have one question. So you mentioned under questioning that some things had happened to you. Do you believe that Mr. Aceves is responsible in any way?
No sé.
I don't know.
All right, thank you so much for coming down. All right, is there anything else from either side?
Just argument, Your Honor.
My client would like to address the court with your
Yes.
permission, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not gonna ask you any questions. I want you to speak to her honor. Tell her what you feel. We've discussed this. I didn't tell you what to say. Have I told you what to say? I've just told you to
No.
speak from your heart. Tell her what you feel, how you, what you want her to know about you, please.
Mi jurado, en verdad quiero pedir disculpas por
todo lo que dije y especialmente los familiares de Ana.
Your Honor, I really want to apologize for everything I said,
Especialmente a Ana Flores y sus familias. No quiero ponerse en terror y miedo.
especially Ana Flores and her family. I never meant to terrorize them or put them in fears.
Yo Sonte me estaba simplemente moviendo y Sonte estaba quería mirar su reacción de cómo reaccionaba y
I was just joking and I just wanted to see how they reacted.
nunca quería cometer ni un masacre ni nada de eso.
I never wanted to commit a massacre or anything like that.
Fue muy estúpido
I was very
diciendo
stupid
eso y
by saying
me siento
that,
muy arrepentido por todo.
and I really regret everything.
Do you have any questions?
I do, Your Honor. Mr. Ross, as you heard Ana Flores mention a event in which you went to for child school with her. Do you remember that?
Sí, fiscal.
Yes, the eighth.
And do you remember telling her that you knew which school to shoot up now after seeing that?
Your
school?
Honor, I don't believe Ms. Flores said that he knew what school. I believe she testified that he knew where to go. I think that's how she mentioned it.
All right, I remember all of the testimony.
Right,
My mind's a steel trap,
okay.
so. Thank you.
Sonte fue una vez, pero no recuerdo la dirección ni el nombre de la escuela.
I only went once and I don't remember the address or the school number.
But do you remember making that statement to her?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you have another coworker named Perla Garcia?
No me acuerdo su nombre, pero probablemente sí tenía otro compañero.
I don't remember his name, but I probably did have another coworker.
Do you remember telling a coworker that her daughter should kill herself when the coworker was discussing
No, no,
her
no,
suicide?
get to any kind of hearsay.
Judge, these are in the stipulations.
All right, and just so everybody knows, I've read the stipulations, I always read everything and read police reports.
Okay.
And I do it when I take the plea, and I also do it when it's coming up for sentencing. I read everything again, so I've read that, and I've read probation's report. All right, but you can ask your question.
No, nunca he dicho a alguien que se debe que suicidarse ni nada de eso.
I have never told anybody that they should commit suicide or anything of the sort.
Do you remember in this case being interviewed by the police after this incident?
Sí.
Yes,
And do you recall discussing having researched prior mass shootings?
Es muy complicado. Es porque en YouTube siempre hay recomendación de noticias porque
it's very complicated because on YouTube, you always get a recommended news feed
en las noticias, en los canales de noticias.
on the news channel.
Y siempre hay school shooting, massacres y eso, y por siempre morbo.
And there's always mass shooting massacres and you have like a morbid curiosity.
Es algo que los miro, pero
And I look at them.
nunca estaba simulando si yo lo haría eso.
But I was never simulating that I would do that.
Pero fue algo como en el momento que intentaba explicar si ellos miraban que por qué estaban mirando.
It was a spur of the moment thing. I was trying to explain if they saw something like that.
Explicar que era solamente por curiosidad
And explain that it was just out of curiosity
y no para planear nada.
and not to plan anything.
And do you recall telling your coworkers that the Uvalde shooter was a hero?
Sí, pero solamente era por una reacción de Ana Flores.
Wait, no, but that was just a reaction from Ana Flores.
Era una broma.
It was a joke.
No es mi héroe ni nada de eso.
He's not my hero or anything like that.
I don't have any more questions, Your Honor.
Any further questions?
Mr. Aceves, do you realize now that you said too much that can hurt you in your future?
Too
Sí,
much.
dije demasiado. No estaba pensando en las consecuencias que podía ocurrir y
Yes, I said too much and I wasn't thinking about the consequences it could have.
ya sí comprendo las consecuencias que voy a la cárcel y nunca ver a mi familia más.
Now I understand the consequences that I could go to jail and never see my family again.
Now, you've been on probation for 16 months. And
Counsel, not on
I mean
probation.
probation, I'm sorry, on house arrest for 16 months. Full house arrest. Have you ever had any violations during the 16 months?
No he tenido nada, hasta era bien precavido que no cometiera ni un error para que pensaban que yo iba a hacer algo.
No, I have not committed any violations. I have been very cautious, so you wouldn't think that I have done something.
And because of that, you've lost your credit rating. You've lost your vehicle, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong in this thing. Obviously, you've lost your job. You haven't been able to go out to look for a job. And all this is correct.
Sí, es correcto.
Yes, that's correct.
And because of this, you've seen how something so stupid as saying something like that can affect you for the rest of your life.
Sí me puede afectar. Debo como casi $10,000 en total.
Yes, it can affect me. I owe at like $10,000 in total.
En 2,000 en la tarjeta de crédito
2,000 on the credit card,
y 5,000 en el vehículo
5,000 on the vehicle.
y como en el tiempo eran como $3,600 por el GPS.
And at the time, it was like $3,300 for the GPS.
Can you promise the court, Her Honor, that she will never see you here again should she give you deferred adjudication?
No puedo nunca cometer ni un crimen ni ser un ciudadano honorado.
And I promise I will never commit a crime and I will be an honorable citizen.
I'll pass it with you, Your Honor.
Any further questions?
Briefly, Your Honor. Mr. Aceves, how many firearms did you own prior to this incident happening?
Son te da uno.
It was only one.
So if the police had found both an AR and a shotgun in your room, did not both of those belong to you?
No era una shotgun, era un air rifle.
It wasn't a shotgun. It was
No,
an air
air
rifle.
rifle, sorry. Air. It's the pebble gun or something like that. A pebble rifle. Pellet, yes.
It was a pellet gun or something like that.
No a shotgun.
When was that AR purchased?
En el mes de febrero.
Your Honor, interpreter in the petition.
All right, if you'll repeat, please.
En el mes de febrero.
MS.
Oh, sorry. En
February, in the month of February.
Was that the same year that this incident occurred?
Sí, pero nunca fue intención de comprarla para planear una masacre y nada de eso.
But it was never my intention to purchase it to plan a massacre or
Tenía
anything.
19 años y quería comprarme una pistola porque cosa más me gustan mucho como mirar TV shows de
I was 19 and I wanted to buy a gun because I love watching TV shows about
de zombies como de The Walking Dead.
like zombies,
The
like
Last
The
of
Walking
Us,
Dead
eso.
and that.
Y ahí son uno que puede imaginar como que debes que estar preparado por cualquier situación,
And you can imagine that you have to be prepared for any situation.
aunque no puede definitivamente no ocurre porque es ficción.
But of course not because it's fiction.
pero no podía comprarme una pistola porque era menor de edad, él debía que tener 21 años.
But I couldn't purchase a gun because I was a minor. I had to be 21.
Así que compré un rifle.
So so I bought a rifle.
No further questions.
All right. So are you saying you couldn't purchase a gun at 21, but you could purchase a rifle?
Así es lo legalmente que puedes.
Oh, no.
Yes, that's why you can say that's legally. what
Yeah,
you
no,
can
no.
do.
I know the law. I'm just, that was sort of a rhetorical question.
Oh, lo siento.
I'm sorry.
You know. So are you currently 21?
No,
Still 20?
No.
yes. Sí, no, sí, mi jurado.
Yes, you're
All
right.
right. So a lot of people will say sometimes, oh, I've said before, you know how you say, I could just kill that person? And honestly, I don't know anybody who's ever said that about somebody else. So what were you thinking and why would you think this would be a joke?
No quería como hacerle que sí le voy a comentar hacer era
I didn't want to make that comment.
son te diciendo para una reacción
It
así.
was just to say it for a reaction.
Okay. All right. So I will listen to your arguments, but this is what I want to tell both of you when you give me your argument. So my job as a judge is not like the Minority Report with Tom Cruise. I can't see into the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I know, State, you're asking for 10 years prison for a 20-year-old for threats. And I've seen cases where people have made threats against a single person and people offer them deferred or people offer them probation. And I know that's not you, but I've seen that happen. In this case, State, you're going to be asking me to send a 20-year-old to prison for something that I'm assuming you're doing it because you think, one, that he could end up committing this. But what I see is a 20-year-old, and if I send him to prison, and let's say I send him to prison for 5 years or 10 years, and he does all his time at the prison. So let's say he goes in at the age of 20, he's there for 10 years, he gets out when he's 30, they offer him parole, he says, no, I don't want parole. And so he gets out of prison at 30 years old, and he has no supervision, and he can do whatever he wants to do. Then we're right back here. I personally don't think that solves the problem that we have before me. And I will tell both of you, I've read all the stipulations, I've read everything. And based upon what I'm reading and the fact that he has no criminal history, 10 years is too much time for what he's charged with and for what he potentially was saying he was going to do, but didn't do. And maybe he was going to do it, but he was stopped before doing it. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. What I am thinking of doing is granting his application, keeping him on deferred for 10 years. He will go into custody today because you're going to go to state ISF cognitive if that's available. If it's not available, we're going to see about some type of, I don't know, mental conditioning or something. I would order that he not to have any possession of weapons. He would still remain on GPS. GPS would be full house arrest, then slowly, maybe he can get a job, then slowly lower down the conditions on that. I would have where he's not to appear or not to reside within a certain place of schools, that he would not be allowed to work or go to Amazon. That's what I'm thinking. And if there's a reason why I should not be thinking that, or someone has something potentially to change my mind about that, I'm more than welcome to hear the argument. But either way, he would be going into custody today.
Your Honor, you're much brighter than I am.
Oh, no.
And I appreciate and I respect your decision, and I think that's a good thing for him. I don't think he needs it, but if the court needs it, then I'm okay with it. I've gotten to know this young man over the last 16 months. And I'm gonna get emotional because I've gotten to like him because he really is, thank you. He really is a good young man. He really said something stupid. And it's not too often in my 35 years of being a lawyer that I get emotionally involved in a case. They tell you not to. But when you really believe in someone, when you really believe that they were acting stupid, for this to happen to them, it's like, what did you do to your life, son? And that's how I feel about him. I would have liked to have seen him just walk out with me. I know in my heart that you will never see him again, but I respect your decision and I'm okay with it.
All right. Well, the court's concern is obviously for somebody to even jokingly say this, there's something mental going on. And I don't, if I had a program that was a free program that was available where he goes into a mental facility and they work, they educate, I would send him there, but I don't have that. If somebody has that and they have where it's private or it's free or somebody's willing to pay for it for him, I would reconsider doing that instead of ISF. But I think right now, because part of my job is also to protect the public. And if I had a crystal ball, it would be great because I could say, this is what he's going to do in 3 years. Or if I had a crystal ball and I would say, send a 20-year-old to prison. And we all know prison life, even Bexar County jail life is not the best life. He's young, he's thin. We already know what's going to happen at prison, potentially, because everybody can't watch people 24/7.
Right.
And I am wondering, sending him to prison for 10 years, what is that going to do to his psyche? And how is he going to come back out of prison into society? And are we going to have an even bigger problem? So I'm trying to put some safeguards in place and then state if he violates GPS in any way that I'm going to give him, if he doesn't report the way he's supposed to, then the full 10 years is there. I will put in place that there, wherever he lives, if he's living with his parents, there are to be no weapons in the home. And I'm going to put in place sort of similar to sex offender registration, even though this is not a sex case, that he has to give probation, all the computer access, phone access, any electronic access, so that they can be aware of what he's looking at and what is happening. I just think in this case, 10 years prison for a 20-year-old, and I realize what could have happened, what may have happened. So that's where I am. And the reason, and I struggle with this case, and I thought about this case from when you all were first here till now about what potentially would be the right decision in this case. And it's a very difficult case. And I know it's a difficult case for the state. And state, I do know why you're asking for the 10 years, because something catastrophic could have happened. So I do understand.
And I respect her for that. And just one more thing, if I may. It's been comforting for me to know that he's been on full house arrest for 16 months. 4 days would be 16 months. He didn't even walk out the front door. And I think that goes to show you that I feel that he's going to be successful in this program. We appreciate what you're doing for him. I just have one question. How long is this going to take? I don't understand. I don't know. Unless
Probation will be able to let you know how long it will take for him to get transferred to state ISF. But again, if you and the state want to confer and there is some sort of inpatient cognitive treatment for him, that is not at the state jail or not at the prison, you can let the court know. The court will consider that. But my thing is, he needs to be worked on internally with the mental that's going on. And I see there are some mental health issues, but DDRF and Mick, they say he's not eligible.
Right. I understand your decision, Your Honor, and I do respect that, and I do agree that some sort of inpatient time, if we're not going to send him straight to prison, is appropriate. I'm thinking back to what Mr. Porter had testified last week, that it remains to be seen whether this is someone who's done well on bond because
Yes.
they fixed the problem, or if they're doing well on bond because, as Mr. Osbus had testified, I've been cautious, so you won't think I've done something. So I think that we do need as many safeguards as possible if we aren't doing prison, and short of that, to ensure that.
Well, my thing is, we're going to do things incrementally, and we will have settings for this to come back to court. Once he's released from inpatient, we can have settings to come back every 60 days, and we can discuss where we are, how he's doing, and do it that way.
One more thing, I keep saying one more thing.
Yes.
I love coming to this court, Your Honor, because you not only think of the public, but you also think of the welfare of the people that are before you. And that's just something that you've earned the respect of all of us in Bexar County and anybody else that may know you, that you're just a wonderful lady.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to give these conditions and state if there are any other conditions you think would be helpful, just let me know. So we're going to do 10 years deferred adjudication. There is to be state ISF cognitive, and he's to be taken into custody today for that. Once he's released from state IS cognitive, we will set this, Vashawn, once he's released from state ISF, before he's released from the Bexar County Jail, let's have him brought over. Is that possible? Okay, well, let's do this. Once he's released from state ISF, we'll just set it for a hearing in here, and we'll call it a compliance hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
So once he's released, we'll do a compliance hearing to maybe fine tune any conditions that we need to fine tune. So I'm going to say full GPS. We'll waive fees
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I was gonna ask.
or defer fees. And then Mr. Aceves, once you've completed the state ISF, or if there's an inpatient treatment through private means, once you completed that, we're going to come back and then we can address the full GPS. But my understanding from working in different treatment courts, you can't go from rigid to all of a sudden you're free. It's sort of like when you have children and you have them on this rigid schedule, then maybe you send them off to college and no supervision. So we'll do full GPS. There's to be no weapons possessed. And there's to be no weapons wherever you're living. So if you're living with your parents, there's to be no weapons in the residence. You understand? And to the Mr. Cisneros, if you could let his parents know, if there are weapons in the home, he cannot stay there.
Yes, ma'am. And Your Honor, he was saying that he owes like $3,000 or something in the GPS fees. Is there a way we can waive those?
We'll deal with that when we come back.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there is to be all electronic, I'll say just items. So that means computers, cell phones, sort of like if he were on sex offender registration. He's to make sure that you all have all the information to look into those computers. So you're going to have to register all electronic items, and that's going to include the items that your parents have in the home. So if they have cell phones, iPhones, all of that has to be registered. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
and all computers in the home must be registered. There's to be no contact with Ana Flores or any workers from his Amazon location, because I know people will order off Amazon. So none of the workers from his Amazon location. There's going to be regular reporting. That can be by Zoom or in person. I'm going to want random field visits, one time per month until further notice. And Bashan, if you'll let probation know when we have the compliance hearing, if that's going well, we can reconsider. There's to be regular UAs. And we will deal with proof of employment. Bashan, I'm not even going to put employment in right now because there's no way for him to get the employment. We'll put that in once we have our compliance hearings. Bashan, is there anything else he needs? Mr. Aceves, I keep mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Voy a ver todas las condiciones.
No, I will obey all the conditions.
All right, State, do you think there's anything else he needs at this time?
No, Your Honor, but Miss Ana Flores did mention to me this morning that she would like the no contact order to extend to her family.
Yes.
Based on the concerns that she mentioned earlier.
All right, and there's to be no contact with Ana Flores's family.
And for the record, Your Honor, I'd like to tell Mr. Aceves something. And that includes your family, your mom, your dad, any family members or friends, okay? They cannot contact her at all. Okay?
All right. And then I'll put in here, there's to be no contact with elementary, preschool, junior high, high school. I think they now call it middle school. If he decides that he wants to maybe get his GED or get a college degree, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for now, there's to be no contact with any schools. All right. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
No, ma'am, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So from here on out, everything that you do, you're looking at potentially going to prison for 10 years. Do you understand?
Sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I hope that you're going to be thinking about what brought you here. Okay? And it is never funny or a joke to ever talk about harming anyone. You understand? That's not funny.
Sí, sí, mi jurado, en verdad. Antes no lo pensaba así. No, sí se lo tomaba de una broma, pero cuando estuve 16 meses, sí.
Yes, Your Honor. Before I did think it was a joke, but since I've been for 16 months, I've been
Pensando en las vidas humanas y
thinking about human life,
perdonar este.
and I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you. Thank you both. Humberto Chavez. Yes. Yes, you may. Thank you so much. Oh, you're so welcome. Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Bashan, this is a motion to revoke. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Oh, no problem. Yes. All right, everyone, make sure you keep your voices down, please. Court is calling 2020 CR 2517, State of Texas versus Humberto Chavez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Gearhan, Your Honor.
Your fence?
Adrian Bettis.
And are you Mr. Chavez?
And Your Honor.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Are you the same Humberto Chavez who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 2517 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 less than? All right, does anyone want to make a oral motion to the motion to revoke?
Yes, Your Honor, oral motion to change the verbiage. States possession of controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1. It says group, we're asking for less than 1 gram. No objections.
All right. So are you the same? All right. Are you the same Humberto Chavez who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 2517 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram on June 6, 2023 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, violated condition number 1 on or about the 25th day of August 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Humberto Chavez, committed the offense of evade, arrest, or detention in violation condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor. Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $1,000 fine?
I understand, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, everyone, just one moment. Can you mute us, please? I'm sorry about that. It's usually those are medical appointments, so I need to answer them because they're medical appointments for people in my family, okay? All right, so did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $1,000 fine?
I understand, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is to adjudicate guilt, revoke the individual office probation, sentence him to 180 days in the Bexar County, I'm sorry, not the Bexar County, the state jail facility. And also the state will take into consideration the 2 new number 1s, clause numbers 715.
Everyone, please whisper.
715-748 and 715-749.
All right, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chavez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
I am, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 715-748 and 715-749.
Your Honor, our agreement was for 180 days.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That is.
Yeah, I was just seeing if people were paying attention. All right, I'll follow your agreement to 180 days in the state jail facility. Mr. Chavez, you do have, it appears that you have a drug or alcohol problem. If you would like, I could refer you to the therapeutic community. Whether they place you in the program or not is completely up to them. I don't have any jurisdiction over that. However, If you were placed in the therapeutic community, it will not extend your 180 days. So would you prefer that or no?
No, Your Honor, actually, I'd like to just be done with.
All right. So here's the thing. If you don't get your life together, you're going to be back right here with another drug case. Do you understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Chavez, I remember you, and I will tell you what is happening with your face. That has gotten bigger than it was the last time you were here. You need to go see a doctor and have that looked at. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
God bless you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Elsa Morales. Are we here for sentencing?
Yes, Judge, we're here for sentencing. You see at the Sept page, apply for probation. There's one letter of support, I would like to submit support from her daughter.
Okay. All right, who is the prosecutor on this case? They know. Yeah. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 5382B. I'm sorry, what? Hi. There's a lot happening. So everyone, this is what we're going to do. When we're on the record, don't approach the court coordinator because they're too close. If you want to approach the deputy and have them bring your person out, you're more than welcome to do so. Court is calling 2023 CR 5382B, State of Texas versus Elsa Morales. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Glenn Payne for defense.
And are you Miss Morales?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea on August 14th. You entered a plea of guilty, applied for deferred adjudication. The state is asking that your punishment be assessed at 1 year in the state jail facility. They're remaining silent on your recommendations, and they're taking certain cases into consideration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yeah, there actually wasn't a PSI created in this court. You asked to reset. We asked for the PSI to get the letter, then you just wanted to see the criminal history.
Yes. So is there criminal history available for the court? Thank you. All right, the court has reviewed the criminal history. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Judge, no witnesses. Like I said, we just had one support letter on behalf of Ms. Morales. It's her daughter, stating how she helped, that Ms. Morales helps take care of children, and she was working as a home health care. Also supplied money for the family. We're gonna ask that the court grant her probation in this case. And let her continue support of her family.
All right, Ms. Morales, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Elsa Morales.
All right, why are you stealing?
It was a bachelor's. I wasn't thinking.
Why are you involving a child in theft? Because it says that this was the MO, go to the store, put things in a cart, and then have a child push the cart outside. So you're basically unwittingly making a child a criminal. Why are you doing that? I mean, your attorney was not there, so he can't answer this question. You did it. You took a child in Target, or as we say, Target. You took a child there, loaded things in a basket, and for that child to know to just push that cart towards all points of sale tells me that somebody told that child, this is what's going to go down. We're going to go in, we're going to put items in this cart, and you just keep pushing it. So why?
I have no words for that.
Yes. And how old was the child that you all involved in your criminal activity who now thinks it's okay to engage in criminal activity?
5 years old.
All right. So you took a 5-year-old. And what day of the week was this? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what day?
I'm not sure.
All right. Was it a school day?
No, I'm not too sure.
All right. So you take this 5-year-old, walk me through it. So the 5-year-old is pushing the cart out, and obviously police are called, right?
Right.
And did they speak to the 5-year-old? What is the 5-year-old thinking? Do you know? I know somebody will probably object to speculation, but I just want to know, what was the 5-year-old doing when police are there? I'm assuming you all were placed in handcuffs.
I was already in the car. It was with his mother.
Mhm. All right. So it was you and his mother who was stealing. Is that what you're saying?
We were already out and the mom told him to leave it there and he did it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. All
Somebody else helped the little boy push it out.
right. So someone helped the little boy push the cart out after you all were committing a theft from Target. And what items were you all taking?
It was stuff for the kids.
No. Don't put this on the children. What items were you taking?
Toys.
And what else?
It was clothing.
So you're teaching children that in order to get things, they should steal. That's what you're teaching. And you left out to the tune of $553.69. So how full was the cart that you were taking out?
It was full.
All right. And then now I've received this letter where you took a child to help you steal, and somebody is saying that you're taking care of children and you're a home health care provider. I don't allow people in this courtroom who are on probation to be home health care providers. And who are you providing health to? Is this a relative?
No.
Right. So I don't know how you're able to take care of children and be a home health care provider.
Those are my kids that I take care of.
Mhm. I don't think you're a good candidate for probation because it appears that your background is littered with theft cases and you're here on a theft enhanced. And how old are you?
43.
I mean, you're old enough to know better. It's not like you're 20 or you're 19 and you have peer pressure. So again, tell me, why are you stealing? It says here that you have a job, that you can pay for things. I don't
I didn't
understand
have
the
a job
stealing.
at that time, Your Honor, but that doesn't excuse for it.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't have a job at that time, but that doesn't excuse. For it.
And it certainly doesn't excuse involving a 5-year-old in your criminal activity. So again, why should I give you probation? The state is silent. Why should I give you probation?
Because I gotta take care of my kids. There's no fathers involved for my children.
Well, when you were using the 5-year-old to steal items, were you thinking about, who's going to take care of my children if I am at the Bexar County Jail? Were you thinking about that?
No, Your Honor.
And if something would have ended up happening, sometimes when people go to places and they steal, sometimes people end up getting shot. If that 5-year-old would have been shot, you know what would end up happening? you would have been on somebody's news, boo-hooing and crying about how it's unfair that your child was shot. So what am I supposed to do about this? You won't stop stealing.
I will, Your Honor.
Now, did you say that to the last judge, that you were going to stop stealing? How many times in your lifetime on this planet, as a 41-year-old, have you had criminal cases for stealing? Now, mind you, name them all because I've read the report.
Like, I believe 5 cases.
And you have not learned anything from that. What you've learned, obviously, is to continue to steal and start this idea where you take a child in with you, you put items in a cart and you just have them pushing it out. In my mind, I can imagine this 5-year-old, because when you see children pushing carts, they're not even old enough to stand and look over the cart. They're just struggling, barely pushing it. And I'm always thinking to myself, why doesn't a parent help that child push that cart?
Your Honor, we told him to leave it there and he continued pushing it out. That's when the other 2 people helped him.
Oh, so now you're saying
Yeah, that's what we did.
you did not include him in your criminal enterprise.
We told him to leave it there and the other 2 people, random people, helped him.
Oh, so this is not a theft case. You were not intending to have him steal. Is that what you're telling the court?
That's what happened.
No. Are you telling the court that this was not a criminal enterprise, that you or somebody loaded a cart at Target with items, the 5-year-old was pushing it, and you're continuing putting items in a cart totaling over $500. And then as he's pushing the cart past points of sale, you're telling him, oh, just leave that there. Maybe you're telling him, we don't have money for that. We just loaded up the cart for some unknown reason and we have no money for that. Is that what you're telling the court? If not, let me know. I mean, I wasn't there, state wasn't there, your counsel wasn't there. I'm just trying to figure out if that's what you're telling me. If that's not what you're telling me, say, judge, no, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm not going to take that as a sign of disrespect, okay? So are you telling the court that you all loaded up a cart of items at Target? The 5-year-old is pushing the cart and you're telling the 5-year-old, leave the cart there. We don't have any money for these items. And your intent was just to walk out. Is that what you're telling the court?
To walk out without the stuff, like to leave the stuff there.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Judge, with this testimony elicited from my client at this time, I think we need to ask the court to withdraw her plea.
All right, that'll be denied. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to find you guilty. Court is going to sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration GJ 812055, JN number 2127782. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. Do not steal. Do not take what does not belong to you, and do not involve children in your enterprise. Shane Riley. All right, on this, there was some issue with competency being coded incorrectly. Where are we?
He still has not been evaluated by the doctor. We don't have a report. He's obviously on bond, Your Honor. And
is just waiting for, I got with the magistrate court after the last court setting.
Mhm,
They said that a doctor or somebody would reach out to him.
mhm.
They have good contact information for him. They have his phone number as well as his stepmom's phone number.
All right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna reset this for 45 days. And once you get your reset form, counsel, if you could take him to the magistrate court and find out what's going on down there.
Sure.
And make sure that the court coordinator has his contact information. And then if they give you a date certain, if you'll come up and let the court know, and we'll change this date. Ms. Ferguson, I need a 45-day reset on Shane Riley. All right, so we'll come back on November 9th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your patience. Who's here on Juan Carranza? Thank you.
Would you like the defendant?
Yes, please. It's always great seeing you. I love the pen.
Good morning.
All right, so in this case, DNA.
DNA. And so just to give the court a status at the last setting, the DNA evidence finally came in. I have hired a DNA expert. I immediately sent that information to him. I have not yet gotten a report back from him. I would assume to get something back from him within the next 30 days.
Mhm.
And so we're here asking the court for a 30-day reset.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, give me a 45-day reset on Carranza. All right, it's going to be November 9th.
Okay.
So at that time, state, you need to be prepared to tender an offer, and then it's going to be a quick turnaround for a plea deadline date.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, is
Appreciate
there anything else?
it. There is not. May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, as soon as as soon as no Spanish interpreter needed. Thank you. Jonathan Oleg. All right, where's Mr. Oleg?
Coming up to.
All right, we're here for discovery. Where are we on the discovery?
I believe discovery is complete, Your Honor. We'll send her a discovery receipt.
And are you prepared to make an offer today?
We did make an offer, Your Honor. I believe counsel has given that offer to his client and had time for his client to.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, if we can recall it in 2 weeks for a plea deadline date, please. All right, so we're going to come back on October 12th. All right, thank you. Yes, you may.
May I first?
Yes.
Just on that one, Simeon, I think his name was.
Simeon?
That was.
Yes.
I did get a response back. He's supposedly in Geo. And then
Oh.
sentenced on November 29th. And then after that, he would be turned over. to the
Okay.
Bexar County Detention.
All right. If you have
I'll
have them pull the file,
Also, real quick.
just 1 second. Yes. Ah,
I see one that is written
okay. Once they put it up here on the desk, I'll take care of it.
Okay, go along step before that. I have a plea.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Shalice Schnitz. Good morning. So where are we on this case?
Well, first, we don't consent to appearing on YouTube,
All right, that motion is denied. Where are we on this case?
but I would like to make a record, Judge, about having to appear on YouTube.
All right, where are we on this case with regards to discovery?
So you won't let me make that record, Your Honor?
The motion will be heard when you file your notice for pretrial motions to be heard. Right now, where we are is there's a motion for blood discovery. There was an agreed order. Where are we on that?
Judge, the blood discovery was provided to defense. They provided it electronically. We sent the link to files, I'd say a few weeks ago. Defense has access to those files through those links for about a year.
All right. So is there any other outstanding discovery?
Defense did bring to my attention through email earlier this morning, 2 or 3 items that I did not have the chance to fully check the electronic discovery to see if they were in there. It's statements from witnesses that were taken at the scene. There's a lot of discovery here, so I couldn't say whether or not we've already provided it. If I get a short amount of time, I couldn't verify that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, give me a 30-day reset for discovery, please. This will be the final discovery date, and we'll hear motions on that date.
And Your Honor, there's also a outstanding motion to modify conditions of bond. Ms. Schnitz, and this is one of the reasons we don't want to be appearing on YouTube. Ms. Schnitz has been ordered by the court not to drive. She has a vehicle in her driveway that is being in the process of being repossessed. Obviously, these are very personal matters. She's also in a child custody dispute with the father of her children. And he is using these videos in her.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset? At that time, the court will hear your motions. And at that time, that's the last time the court will have this set for any outstanding discoveries. So you all need to confer and you all need to make sure that you have all of your discovery.
Yes, Judge.
Can we get the ignition interlock device removed from her vehicle?
I will have the discovery hearing and I will have the motions hearing in 30 days. Everybody needs to be prepared for motions.
And if the car gets repossessed before then, Judge?
All right. What date, Ms. Ferguson? All right, October 26th.
Thank you,
Okay.
Judge.
Thank you. And Norma, set this for motions on that day at 10:30. Are you able to be here at 10:30 on that day, counsel? Oh, it's October 26th.
We also hear our request tonight.
All your motions will be heard on that date. And this is Jonathan Oleg. That's done. All right, who's here on Luis Francisco Cordero? Michael Herrera? And Norma, if you can give the Zoom link for Anton for Eric Johnson. Is the interpreter here? Has the interpreter been called on Eric Gonzalez Lopez? Sir, just have a seat. We're waiting for your attorney. No problem. Arturo Villanueva? Yes, we do. But I don't think their attorney is here. And that is for Eric Gonzalez Lopez. All right, I believe this is Criminal Trial Division. All right, and the state was to provide an offer. Have you received an offer?
No, Your Honor.
Did you confer with the state today?
Yes, Your Honor. I think what the problem is that the file right now is missing. We didn't get the docket necessarily, but we are in the process of looking for that. It's going to be obtained. I've had several people go look for it right now, Judge, if we get a little bit more.
Sure. All right, just have a seat. We'll call you up.
Your Honor, I have a civil district court presiding case that we've announced 3 to 4 hours over there.
Mhm.
Can I get the excuse to go over there with, and I'll give Mr. Garahan my cell number and he can text me if it's available.
All right, and you need to come back, and criminal district court takes precedent, but I'll let you go over there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Kenan Brown. His attorney, who's his attorney? Thank you. All right, we're here for discovery issues. Where are we on discovery?
I believe we turned over some discovery this morning. I know that Mrs. Gay was in trial when we were in trial and it
Yes.
was supposed to be exchanged in, but I think we cleared it up if I'm correct.
Yes, Your Honor, it was just. It was a misunderstanding, but I do have everything to say,
Okay.
so. I think our minds were on, both of us were on different things, but we have it today, and that should be the only discovery that is outstanding.
All right, and so state, were you prepared to make an offer today or no?
We can, I don't know if one has been given or not, but I can give an offer today. If she, yes.
All right, so,
I'm not prepared to counter it. Or to, I have to look at the surveillance video related to this robbery.
all right,
That's what's turned over today.
all right. So Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
and state if you'll give an offer today, and Ms. Ferguson, if you'll give me a 30-day reset and counsel, that will be your plea deadline date, and you all can confer off docket. Is that enough time for everyone?
I think so, Your Honor.
All right. All right, October 26th. Is that good for you, Ms. Gay?
Yes, it is.
All right, we'll see you back on October 26th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Another rubber band bites the dust. It's for that one. Oh, is Darlene Gay still here? Oh, okay, because you have someone else on the docket. Okay. Norma, do you know, does Brent Hardy have someone on the docket because he's in the waiting room? Mr. Hardy, who do you have with us? What page is she on? Because I don't see his name on the docket. Yes.
Briefly, so I can give the court an update on Shane Riley. I went down and spoke to the coordinator in Magport. She says he's number 5 on the wait list to be evaluated.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. I told her it was being reset for 45 days and they have all his contact
Okay.
information.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, because I don't have her on the docket. All right, if you'll let Mr. Hardy know. All right, any attorneys who are here and you're ready, just approach the coordinator and have her put the file up here and we'll take it up.
Top of the range. So you already recognize us here.
Okay. There you go. Who's here on Giancarlo Armstrong?
Can I call him up?
Yes. You're on the other side. Okay. All right, Mr. Armstrong. Why were you late?
No.
No, he was late. Because I called the name and I put NP for not present.
He was, he would have been outside in the hall, Judge. He was here 2 days ago for 3 hours, and I don't anticipate that it was anything intentional. I think he may have just been outside because he was texting me this morning while I was on a Zoom hearing. So apologies.
Okay. So we're here for a motion to revoke.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are both parties ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2022 CR 0686, State of Texas versus Giancarlo Cisneros Armstrong. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
And Brian
Defense.
Powers for Mr. Armstrong, Your Honor.
And are you Giancarlo Cisneros Armstrong?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you were placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 0686 for the offense of aggravated sexual assault on June 14th, 2022 for a term of 8 years. Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
This
Oh,
is-
I'm sorry. Off the record. This was reduced to attempted and it's not listed in the motion to revoke as attempted.
And we will stipulate to the attempted, Your Honor.
All right, so I will reread. All right, can we go off the record? Can you mute us, please? You can keep us where we were, please.
offense of evade arrest or detention in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure. Violated condition number 1 on or about the 12th day of August 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, John Carlos Cisnero Armstrong, committed the offense of failure to identify in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, we've waived the other violations alleged in the motions.
All right, any objections to the waiver?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of conditions 1 and 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations, conditions 1 and 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violations 1 and 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor, the defendant has agreed to state ISF, Judge.
Okay.
And that is the agreement, Your Honor.
Is this just state IS cognitive?
It is, Judge. We checked a couple of days ago, I believe it would be a 40-day wait inpatient and I believe a 90-day inpatient after that. So he's aware that he's looking at a commitment of 130 days.
All right. And is he eligible for state ISF?
Your Honor, he will be, I forgot to mention, he pled true to these 2 violations, but with the state is going to TIC the underlying.
All right. And what are the cause numbers?
You
can talk them.
I've got them for you, Hank.
Oh, thanks.
Your Honor, one of them is 714734.
Mhm.
The other one is 714735. They were both out of the same incident.
All right. The court will find violations of 1 and 1 true. Probation, are you in agreement with this recommendation? All right. The court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include state ISF cognitive, taking consideration 714734 and 714735. Mr. Armstrong, is there anything else you need from the court so you can obey the rules and be a productive citizen?
May I speak on his behalf, Your Honor? He
No,
was,
I want to know if there's anything else he needs.
Oh, yeah, there's one thing, Your Honor. It's just if I may be able to attend church again.
Oh, no, we're not even at that point. We're at the point where you're on deferred adjudication. You're looking at 20 years in prison and you picked up 2 number 1s. So what I'm trying to figure out is what is your thought process that you're not thinking and it's not at the forefront of your mind that you could be doing 20 years in prison? I'm sure your attorney has spoken to you about this. I don't take any joy or pleasure in sending the people to prison. When I place people on probation, I'm hoping that they're going to be successful. I want them to be successful. I want them to turn their life around. I don't want them to come back before me unless they're coming back before me to say, I've learned a lot. You'll never see me again for this. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm talking about in terms of that. Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then I'll sentence you to state ISF cognitive, taking consideration 714734 and 714735. Once you're released from state ISF, you need to immediately contact your probation officer. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record from here on out. Everything that you do, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. 1, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. Always good seeing you, Mr. Powers.
Thank you, Judge.
No, my birthday is November 2nd, so you didn't miss it.
Always remember that stuff better than I do.
All right, are the attorneys here for Luis Cordero, Michael Herrera, Eric Johnson, which I have the note, so we're waiting for that attorney. Eric Gonzalez Lopez. All right. Do we have the interpreter?
It's not for an interpreter.
All
but
right.
I don't know that-
Could you call down the interpreter, please?
Yeah, he's here. I didn't realize too. It's I was recently appointed, so.
Yes. No, he needs an interpreter. So,
So every time I need to ask for an interpreter.
Mhm.
Okay, now I know.
okay. All right, counsel. Do you speak Spanish?
Do I speak Spanish?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, bring your client up. The interpreters are all out.
I needed one.
No, I always make the announcement. All right, so he's already had an immigration attorney appointed to him, and that was Teresa Cozdabla. So he should have already received a report because she was appointed in February.
I was recently appointed to the case after Raymond and Victoria got off the case.
No, but what I'm
So
saying, he has immigration issues.
I'm perfectly capable of dealing with his immigration issues,
right.
but I will get with whoever they.
Well,
have.
she's already, my understanding, she's already done a report. I'm just giving you an update.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So that was done in February. This case has been lingering since January. So, and I know you were recently appointed, so I'm going to give you a chance to get caught up on discovery if you need a chance for that.
Please, and I did confer with the state. There is evidently a massive amount of discovery that I'm going to try to get from Raymond because they gave him a hard drive, or I guess one of those terabyte hard drives that he got everything on. So I'll get with him, see if he'll go ahead and just give that to me and I'll trade him a blank one for it.
Mhm.
I know that they are also transcribing interviews. So that's something that the prosecutor let me know that they are still working on, that it's not been completed yet. But I'm just gonna get caught up, Judge. I will let the court know that I have a quote unquote vacation coming up because I'm gonna be in Comal County in a capital murder case for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Great vacation.
All right, when is that?
That October, it's gonna begin October 6th and it may run into the second week. They do things very differently from here. So their trial is every day, all days.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Eric Gonzalez Lopez, recall this for 60 days.
And Judge, I did inform defense if they were unable to get the discovery through prior defense counsel that we can make arrangements for them to drop off.
Yeah.
All right, so that needs to be done
Absolutely.
before next week is concluded.
I'll either get it from Raymond or I'll drop off a hard drive of my own.
All right, what date? All right, November 13th.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And if you'll let your client know, please.
Okay.
Yes. Are we ready on Luis Cordero?
Yes, we are, Judge.
And he's only pleading to one case, correct?
Yes.
All right, where's Mr. Cordero? Court is calling 2022 CR 6145 State of Texas versus Luis Francisco Cordero. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
Defense?
Robert Gowan for the defendant.
Are you Mr. Cordero? Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications in this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Cordero, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Do you understand it, Mr. Cordero? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Cordero, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of fraudulent use or possession of identifying information, 5 items or less, as a state jail felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Your Honor, it was supposed to be on the burglary of the building. Unless the paperwork
I
is
have the
correct.
wrong paperwork.
Is the paperwork-
I
Right.
received a 6 months or 5.
All righty, let me see. Yeah, this says 6145 on here. So if y'all want to change that number and you're proceeding on 2020 CR 3591.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. That's no problem. It happens. Can I have a file stamp, please? Thank you. Oh, no, I just need a file stamp. Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
I just like getting in.
No problem. It happens.
I just guarantee you, I'll probably just read the first one.
All right. So did you understand you're charged with the offense of burglary of a building? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Cordero, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to. The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulations. No, just 1 second. I'm reviewing the paperwork and there's an issue with the paperwork. Everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Sure.
Okay, we are back. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 12 months in the state jail facility. There are no applications. State will take in consideration 2022 CR 6145. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motions, Judge.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment of burglary of a building, how do you plead? Guilty?
No
Not
contest.
guilty or no contest?
No content.
State, any evidence?
State offer states to the one no conference.
They have been reviewed by counsel, Judge, no objection.
Mr. Cordero, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge would just ask that you follow the plea bargain agreement and assess credit for all time served.
All right. Then the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 12 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2022 CR 6145. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Do not steal anymore. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. Jesus Garza.
Present judge
And where's Mr. Garza?
in federal custody.
All right, what is the status or update?
I think Jason's looking that up.
She just came, it's just,
No.
just came to me and asked me, and I was gonna offer out, but I can check real quick.
Oh, sure. $12 months. You're welcome. And let me know whenever okay, I'll take that up after I finish with this. State jail. All right, everyone, the court is recessing at noon. We have a jury trial scheduled at 1:30. Yes, I'm gonna have to take, yours is off docket, so I'm gonna have to take it last.
Oh, that's okay. I can wait as long as you need, Judge.
All right, thank you. I
It'll be
appreciate.
really quick.
Okay, thank you.
Here's my headphone.
Jerron Crawford. And we're not on the record. Hello, Mr. Crawford. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's always a busy day. So I'm trying to see what the issue is. Just 1 second. Here it is. Yes, thank you. All right, so this is to make a decision on your supervision because they're not able to do the field visits the way I want them done because you will be in Atascosa, correct? All right. So probation, do you have any issues with him being in Atascosa?
No, Your Honor, he's provided adequate proof. And I believe he's been doing everything that he needs to do on probation.
All right. So with regards to the address in Atascosa, is that where you're going to be living with your grandparents? All right, don't go there causing problems, you understand?
Yes, man. Yeah, I'm doing everything. I'm changing my life around. I got baptized recently.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
My certificate. I joined the church. My grandfather, he's a deacon. The pastor, I talk to him every time, so.
Okay, that is awesome. Well, keep up with the good work, okay? All right, so probation, I'll allow him to move to Atascosa. All right, is there anything else you need?
No, ma'am.
Remember, in this court, when you're on probation, communication is key. So if there are ever any issues or something you want to talk out, maybe you can't talk out with your grandfather, you can always contact probation. If you feel it's not being addressed, you can come to the court, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I would like to, request a TAP evaluation.
All right. And we're gonna do a TAP evaluation. And I'll allow the transfer. Is there anything else, probation? All right, is there anything else you need from me? All right, thank you. All right, thanks. That's okay. Norma, we proceeded without them.
No, I think we have we have several of them that are here.
All right, they didn't give me their files.
I think I recently included.
All right, if you'll give me their files, yes.
Jesse Garza, he got a semblance of an update.
All right.
I think I put John on here.
He has 3 cases,
Okay,
two.
they're not up here, Norma. Okay, so what?
Well, not much of an update, Judge. Sorry about that, but the last email I'd sent out and it got a response for was back in July, unfortunately. But it said that he was still in federal custody in Webb County and he was being held there. But the thing that it listed on there is that there is no active warrant on him. And I don't understand what that meant. I don't know if you need to make a bench warrant for him or not, because they picked him up from our custody and took him down there.
Okay.
But no other update other than that at this current time. So, I mean, they did I did send another email off to our clerk to look into it further.
All right, so this is what we'll do. I'm going to give you all a reset before we bench warrant him, because feds don't like for you to bench warrant them and then just, oh, nothing happened. We're not doing anything. So we'll bring them back. So I'm going to give you guys a 60-day reset. And if you all are ready to proceed, that means proceed with trial or whatever, then let us know and we'll have him bench warranted for that.
Okay, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 60-day reset on Jesus Garza.
All right, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah.
13th.
When?
November 13th.
November 13th?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Judge, and I think you have one of the files.
All right, the other file I have, that person doesn't need an interpreter.
Is not?
The only files I have are Tiro, Villanueva, Johnson, Herrera, and Kritzman.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Perfect.
All right, interpreter for Fraulein Guzman Velasquez. Do we have the interpreter here? Oh, hi. No. I need my glasses for distance, not for reading. And so I didn't see you, but we won't tell anybody my vision is that bad.
Are you calling for live? Are you calling for live to come over?
Yes.
Oh, sure. You want to stand on the phone?
Oh, watch out.
All right, so with this case, we have immigration consequences. Has he spoken to an immigration attorney?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to give you all a plea deadline date. Is this the same case where you all are waiting for transcription?
Yes, Judge.
All right, this is going to be the last date for that. And this is also going to be your plea deadline date. And I'm giving you until November 13th. And after that, you're going to jury trial, or either you all are entering a plea.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Is there any, did he need anything else or no? All right, could I see Lazaro Estrada Perez? And Norma, that was set for the November 13th. Yes.
Back to bring him in.
Okay.
Judge, on this case, defense did provide a hard drive yesterday for us to transfer over to the discovery.
And it was my fault for being late on that, Judge. The other thing is I was also emailed by Miss May that I believe she's done the interview, but she has not gotten the report finished on.
All right.
immigration. And we're discussing a possible plea offer.
All right. Oh, we have one more. All right, so they'll bring Mr. Estrada out. Lazaro Estrada Perez. Yes. All right. So with regards to immigration, has he spoken to an immigration attorney?
No.
All right, Norma. He needs to have an immigration speak to him. And everyone, I'm giving you the date of November 13th.
And Judge, we'll get that discovery defense by today.
All right, and that will be the final date for anyone to enter any type of plea bargain agreements.
Yes, Judge. Thank you very much.
All right, so you need to make sure that's done. Is there anything else?
No, Judge. It will be excused.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. The next person who needs an interpreter is Fernando Espinoza Rodez.
I'll just stay up here, Judge.
Thank you. Yes. Hey, it's just yeah. All right, who's the attorney on Fernando Espinoza Rodez? All right, this is being reset, Ms. Ferguson. And it's going to be given the 11/13 date. And that's the last day that the court will consider any plea bargain agreements. Is he in the box? Rafael Leal. Fernando Espinoza Rodez, come up, please. All right, Mr. Espinoza Rodez, have you spoken to an immigration attorney?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to recall this for November 13th. That is the absolute last day that the court will consider any plea bargain agreements. Does everyone understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state judge.
Nothing from the defense judge.
All right, thank you. And then we have Juan Carlos Soto Victorino. Is Jennifer Zorka here?
That are wrong tomorrow.
All right, is he in the box? Deputy Lori, if you will let Juan Carlos Soto Victorino. All right, if you can come forward, please. Hello. So, Mr. Soto Victorino, I'm not going to ask you anything about what is deemed to be the facts of the case because your attorney is not here. So, have you spoken to an immigration attorney?
No.
No. All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can make sure that immigration sees him. All right. All right. So we are going to come back on November 13th. On November 13th, you will need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the offer that has been extended by the state. Do you understand?
Okay.
All right. And after that date, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Okay.
All right. Now, do you understand?
See.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Chris Bun. Sure. No problem. Michael Herrera.
Have you excused your?
Yes, thank you so much. Arturo Villanueva. All right. Yes. All right, where are we on this case?
This is the one where
Wait, why are two people here? Who is Arturo Villanueva? Who's the person who has the criminal case in the courtroom? All right, who are you, sir?
Could you call me up already or not?
Oh, no, what's your name?
Michael.
Oh, your attorney's not here. I'm sorry about that. Thank you. I was like, wow, we have two. All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, we have been trying to locate the file, but since we can't locate it, we're in the process of just making an offer right now.
All right, and what I'll do, since you're going to make an offer today, I'm going to reset this for a plea deadline date.
Okay, Judge.
And Ms. Ferguson, can you set this for the second week in October as a plea deadline date? All right, October 12th will be your plea deadline date. At that time, you need to let the court know whether you're accepting the state's offer or not. After that date, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So once you sign the reset form, you excuse and counsel if you remain so you can get an offer from the state, or either you can confer off docket because I know you have the matter in civil.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And everyone, the court is recessing at 12. So if your matter is not taken care of, it is going to be reset. Jose Ramirez. Hello. And Mr. Ramirez, if you come forward. All right, are you all ready to proceed on the MTR?
We are, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2021 CR 10657, State of Texas versus Jose Alonso Ramirez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Fred Mauer for Mr. Ramirez.
All right. Do you have any objection to this attorney standing in for Robert Mauer? Do you have any objections to that? Are you okay with this attorney?
Yes, sir. I mean, yes, ma'am.
Are you okay with this attorney standing in for Robert Mauer? All right. State, do you have any objections to this attorney standing in?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. And are you Jose Alonso Ramirez?
Ma'am.
Going to show you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Jose Alonso Ramirez who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 10657 for the offense of terroristic threat of a peace officer on January 26, 2022 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Violated condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Jose Alonso Ramirez did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of September, October, and November of 2022 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Oh, good.
I'm sorry?
True.
State?
Your Honor, we waive the other violations alleged in the motion.
Any objections to the waivers?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $1,500 fine. Did you understand?
Yes,
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
yes,
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking that you deny the motion, extend the defendant's probation for 2 years, alter and amend the conditions for a TAP evaluation while in custody, for intensive outpatient treatment, with biweekly drug tests for 90 days and random thereafter. We're asking the defendant to take the BIPP course and verify his residency and employment every 90 days. Judge.
What has he done on probation? Other than not reporting? Probation? Has he done anything since he's been on probation?
Or he's made a payment toward his fees of $100. He did complete the drug court evaluation. He did not qualify. Other than that, there are no other terms of probation have been satisfied.
I'm not inclined to follow your agreement because you haven't done anything. You haven't reported. Why have you not reported? You want to raise your right hand? You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, that nothing but the truth, so help you God.
yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Alonso Ramirez.
All right, why have you not reported?
I was talking with Zoom, my PO. He never told me nothing about. I was reporting with the Zoom. That's it. I was keep calling them many times when I was working out of town. And I was then when I went to report, I said,
No, they're saying you have not reported.
I was talking to boss, I said boss, that's my probation officer.
All right, I'm telling you both, I'm not inclined to follow this agreement. He has not reported. To me, that's the easiest thing. So if you would like, the most I can sentence you to is 2 years in the state jail facility. I'll sentence you to 1 year.
1 year.
Mhm. Would you prefer that?
Yes.
All right, if you'll grab the trial court certification form, please. All right, the court is going to revoke, sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. If you would like the therapeutic community, I can request that for you. It doesn't increase the length of time that you've been on, that you would serve. So for example, since I'm sentencing you to 1 year in the state jail facility, if you're in the program for therapeutic community, if you haven't completed their program, they're not going to say, oh, he's due to get out, but since he hasn't completed the program, we're going to continue him. It's completely up to you. So would you like for me to have you referred to the therapeutic community or no?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to request the therapeutic community. Even though I'm requesting it, you're going to have to request it as well, because I don't have the jurisdiction to force them to place you in the program. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you'll have him sign that, and that way I can put that on the record. Hank, if you want to help him with that so he can sign that,
Yes, ma'am.
so that we can complete the hearing. Just one moment. He just zoomed in. All right, let me just finish this hearing, then I'll call Crispin up. And Dinah, we're still on the record in this case. Okay. All right, and if you'll have him come back up. Oh, you can come around. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you have a chance to review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this isn't a plea bargain agreement, you do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are on community supervision. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney, okay? All right, good luck to you. Aran Bawani, and then I'll take Crispin. All right, where are we on this case?
Got an offer was tendered to counsel. And discovery is complete at this point.
Judge, the defendant is from New York. He's got family here in the courtroom. They're here for support, but it's also difficult to get here from New York. They do want to see if a bond reduction can be had. We had probably previously asked for a bond reduction, but for whatever reason, through no fault of this court.
Ms. Ferguson? Because I see one was scheduled on July 13th and it was scheduled with Judge Nahara. Will you put it on the docket for Judge Nahara to hear a bond reduction? And his family is here from New York, so see if he is able to see it today or hear it today.
I appreciate it.
Right. And then if I could have a 1 month reset as a plea deadline date, please. All right. October 19th would be his plea deadline date. And we'll make sure that he's heard today by Judge Nahara.
Thank you, Judge. I really appreciate it.
All right. Yes.
Just wondering, based on that time, if we're gonna do this in the continuance, I do have a plan, and if I get
Yeah,
out of
we will. If
custody,
you'll make sure that they give me your file and I'll take it up.
we did, but
What
if
is the name?
It's something, it's like. I have a guy in custody who's getting out, so I want to make sure everybody got out. I'm gonna support.
All right, I'll take that up. Just let me do this Crispin with the Veterans Treatment Court, which shouldn't take long, and I'll take that up.
Okay, thank you.
All right, court is calling Sean Crispin. Where are you? All right, come up. Hi, so where are we on this case?
I'm asking.
Oh, no, Veterans Treatment Court is right behind you. Great.
So fortunately, I do want to apologize, Your Honor. We are still trying to catch up, but with Mr. Crispin, we did find out some new information. There's two things that we can do today.
Mhm.
The first one is we do have our docket database about the details here right now to where I'll find with Ms. Abrams about possibly taking him down to where the DJOs are, getting the scheduled date, the assessment next week. But then I found out some information that he may be wanting to move to California.
Yeah, just for medical reasons, insurance cover the venue, you know, 24/7 oxygen.
Okay.
Plus all my family's down, I have no family here, so my whole support network is down there, my father, my uncles, my cousin. I would go to them right off the bat to the maternal grandmother, which is where my son's at right now. I sent him there in December of last year. Then I have a job lined up down there as well. And lease I can sign, I just didn't sign a lease because
Okay.
I would like to get permission for signing $26,000 lease.
All right, so then we'll hold off then maybe on the,
Which is where we can go over whatever route, Your Honor. The one thing is if I, so where you told me is where you're planning on going.
Yeah.
So are you gonna live with your grandma?
Yeah.
Where's your grandma live?
Torrance, which Torrance Beach.
Okay, so that's still LA, Orange Beach?
It starts, it's right where Orange County starts, it's the beach city, like you're
There
down
is
the
a
beach.
veterans court down there, Your Honor, to where we have actually transferred people before. It's a little different to where what they're gonna ask of us is we can do our mental health medical screening, the same thing with the DJ. What we would do then is then present that information to that court and let them know, like, this is, if he was gonna stay here with us, this is what we see and how we would XYZ. And then we can possibly, if ICOTS allow, because then we have to work with probation. There's still a method we can still execute what you're looking for.
so let me ask you, how long would that take? And when are you anticipating or wanting to be transferred to California?
As soon as possible, but I mean, of course, whatever I need to get done here, takes president and priority first. And then once I'm released, I go there, but I can go there anytime.
All right, well, I would like, and I think it would be better for you, if this is the route that everybody thinks is most appropriate, I would like to have some sort of setup for you in California and not just leave here and.
Yeah, I would
not
like
this-
to make sure that everything that you need and is required here is taken care of over there, that's moved over there first.
Okay.
That way, I can just go there and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh, yeah, that needs to be taken care of. So.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do then, we'll reset this. And
We could be ready for what we need, Your Honor, because I can get the appointments on the books that he is aware of for next week today.
Okay.
That will take, I can get a day turnaround for that information that I need. In regards to ICOTS probation on their side, I'm unsure of how long that timeline will be.
when do you want us to call this back? To just let us know.
Who's the ICOTS officer now? Or probation, do you know? Who's running the ICOTS stuff?
Let's do this. Let's recall this for 30 days.
Okay.
If you have something sooner than 30 days, then we can always bring it in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
So 30 days is tentatively.
Yes,
Okay, well, 30 days to move back here.
to back here to the court.
Then what do we do?
We're gonna find out what the game plan is. So then the judge is either gonna allow or not allow you to move.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? I saw your report.
We can't do anything. You know?
I mean, we'll just have to see if they're gonna accept it.
That's what you and I are gonna handle something.
Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Crispin?
Anytime now.
All right, and Mr. Crispin, here's the issue. The issue is you come before me and you're testing positive.
I only tested positive one time.
Well, I mean, that's one time too many.
That was the first.
So
time, and
that
I've
is-
I've been cleaning and good.
That is why I cannot send you out to California if I choose to do that without things set up in place. So that's why it's taking longer. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ruiz. Yes. All right, so somebody's asking for a continuance, is that correct?
Thanks, Judge, yes.
Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 4248A, State of Texas versus Jose Ruiz. And does anybody have the motion for continuance?
Your Honor, this is the one with the, excuse me, with the affidavit signed. When I scanned it for the email, I couldn't, my scanner was broken.
That's okay.
But
So can I
that
have
actually
parties?
has the affidavit.
All right, can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Marissa Giovanco for the state.
defense?
Teresa Connolly. For Mr. Ruiz.
All right, defense has filed a motion for continuance for a trial date that is set October 3rd.
Yes.
State, are you ready to proceed on the motion for continuance?
We are, Judge.
All right, let me read this for one moment, please. All right, so there's some matters in the motion for continuance that the court's recollection is completely different. For example, when anybody requests that an attorney be appointed to sit with them, I allow it. So there's your motion that you said that since Lorraine Ephraim was well acquainted with this case and willing to be of assistance, Teresa Conley requested that the court reappoint her. The court denied that request. Lorraine Ephraim was later reappointed through the MAC. As all parties know, they have stated that judges necessarily do not just look around the courtroom like we used to before and say, hey, can you get on this case and help out? It has to go through the managed assigned counsel. So whenever, and I think Ms. Ephron is aware that whenever someone requests a second, I always give them, unless there's some strange reason why they have not, where I feel they don't need a second, but it's felony court. So I'm always, I don't want to say always, because there may be exceptions, but no exception has ever appeared before the court since I was on the bench where I wouldn't allow somebody to have a second attorney. So with regards to that in the motion for continuance, the court is not in agreement with that statement. But you are asking for a continuance, but because you're saying that you need more time?
Well, and I think one of the issues with regard to that, raising that point, is that there's just so much disruption and this continuity in representation. So even though I was initially appointed, then I was replaced by a retained attorney, and then back on, we lost so much time there, and our defense team lost time there. So it's we're trying to get it back to where we could have been if we'd stayed on from the beginning.
This, Your Honor, this packet right here is the original discovery. It's 1 inch thick, taken down from the discovery that we get from the state. In addition to that, there are 2 terabytes. I just gave Lorraine the 2nd terabyte that I picked up earlier in the week. In addition to that, every single day we're getting new things, audio calls. This is incredible. The amount.
Audio calls from where?
From the jail.
All right, so I mean,
Letters in the jail, changes with the autopsy.
all right, with regards to calls from the Bear County Jail, the state, if they're monitoring calls, then they give those to you as soon as they get them. I'm not going to allow for a continuance, just so everybody knows, based upon jail calls that your client is making.
No, I'm not asking for that. I didn't even mention jail calls in there. I'm just telling you in terms of what's going on that I hadn't, when I did this motion, I hadn't received anything from the state at all. Your Honor, as I recall, we're here for 3 weeks and I got, Judge Harrell did an interim discovery approval with the autopsy and medical examiner, state agreed, Mrs. Mitchell at that point. I'm having some difficulties with the medical examiner. The original person is in Corpus Christi. So, and then the state had an interview with her first name is Kimberly. I don't remember the last name of Molina. Thank you. Dr. Molina, and she has an interview that the state has also provided me with this week, but vast changes.
All right, so I bring up the audio calls because you mentioned that you were continuing to receive audio calls from the state. And then you informed me that those were jail calls. That's why I brought that up. So everybody knows jail calls that your client is making, I'm not going to grant, and I know that's not in the motion, but I want everybody to be aware. I'm not going to grant a motion for continuance based on the fact that maybe the state is recently getting jail calls that your client has made. So are you going to object to this motion for continuance?
Judge, we're not in agreement to the motion. I don't know that we are formally objecting to the motion. There's a lot in the motion and we understand that there is a lot of discovery in the case. I would object to a 9-month continuance. Absolutely. I think that is what defense is asking for. And I think that is.
No, there would not be a 9-month
Yes,
continuance.
we would object to that for sure. We are ready for trial as is, Judge. And I disagree with defense's statement that prior to the motion, she did not receive any discovery. A external hard drive was given to Ms. Efron. We've been turning over discovery nonstop, and the recent stuff has been jail calls and mail that we are in constant collection of. I also will say there was a statement by defense counsel about changes to the autopsy. There were no changes to the autopsy. We did interview a different medical examiner who may have had slight differences of opinions, and we turned over our notes, which arguably are work product, but we did turn those over. In an abundance of caution, we've turned over all of our notes from our meetings. And so there's not really changes to the autopsy, but a different person is going to testify for the state as far as a medical examiner, because defense is correct. The original medical examiner no longer works for the Bear County Medical Examiner's Office.
All right, so with regards to.
Just with regard to the voluminous discovery, I mean, some of the CPS records that the state has turned over amount to over 13,000 pages. Yeah.
All right. So with regards to CPS records, court has done a lot of CPS cases. A lot of those are duplicates. I'm bringing this case back on October 23rd. And on that day, everybody needs to have their discovery. This case will be tried before the new year. All right. And I will orally grant your motion for continuance, but I'm not going to sign your motion for continuance because there are things in there that the court is not in agreement with. So orally, I will grant your motion for continuance. We're coming back on October, did I say October 23rd?
23rd, Judge. If I may, as I am in multi roles, if I can just check my calendar real quick.
And that would not be a day you would expect witnesses here.
No, October 23rd is just for everybody to have all their discovery. And when we come back on October 23rd, this is going to get a jury trial date and it's going to be before the new year.
Okay, that's not a jury trial date then.
No.
Okay, I misunderstood. Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
May we be excused?
Yes.
Yes, and let's put it on October 23rd.
They're discovering, that's the final discovery, they're gonna do, let me hold that file for them.
More stuff than I do.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah, customers rules. Oh, yeah, we're breaking.
Hello, Judge, may I approach?
No. We're going in order of the files that I have.
Oh, I just want to know if I want, at
Yeah.
1:30, that's all. I
Yeah,
wanted to know.
we're going in the order of the files I have. Jose Gonzalez. All right, who's your attorney? All right. Ms. Ferguson, on Jose Gonzalez state, have you tendered all of the discovery and an offer?
That was my understanding, Your Honor. I believe it's time to tender an offer and that may be why it's been sent out.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, on this case, recall it for next week for a plea deadline date.
Mr. Simberg showed up at 11:55.
I'm sorry?
He showed up at 11:55.
Yes. Yes. All right, we'll bring you back on September 28th. So Jose Gonzalez can go back.
Sorry, may I ask a question?
Mhm.
Do you have the motion in front of you that I have turned in? We're just confused about what it matters.
No, I do not. I'm sorry. All right, I'll look. Just give me a moment.
It'll probably take 2 minutes.
Sure. Or Gallegos, why do I have this file?
Regular judge,
All right, that's going to come back next week on the 28th.
what date? Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Good, I'll take care of it. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Jose Gomez. All right, are you all ready to proceed on the motion to revoke?
You are, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2017 CR 3566 State of Texas versus Jose Edward Gomez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Lindsay Shaw for Mr. Gomez.
Are you Jose Edward Gomez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision and First Amendment motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Jose Edward Gomez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2017 CR 3566 for the offense of manslaughter on February 1st, 2018 for a period of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Violating condition number 5, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Jose Edward Gomez, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of January, February, March, April, May, June, and July 2023 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objections?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Did, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. And that agreement is to adjudicate guilt, revoke this individual offers probation and the citizens of 7 years since Texas Department of Corrections. And the state will take into consideration cause number 714449.
All right, counsel, is that the agreement?
It is the agreement, Your Honor.
Mr. Gomez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will find you guilty, grant the motion, not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 7 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, taking consideration 714449, there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Has restitution been paid?
No, that's one of the reasons that this deal was made, Your Honor. The amount was in excess of $9,000.
All right, so it hasn't been paid? All right, there's to be restitution to Roy Rodriguez Jr.'s family. And what is the amount? And the amount of $9,972. There's to be no contact other than by financial payment with Roy Rodriguez Jr.'s family. Anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor, and I believe you mentioned credit for all time served. I just want
Yes.
to make sure the court's aware. I believe as of today, yes.
All right, thank you. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor. I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Gomez, you had a chance to be successful and be in the free world. You made choices, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Do better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Michael Herrera. All right, so do you have all the discovery in this case?
Yes, we do from the state.
All right, has an offer been tendered?
Yes, Your Honor, and a counter offer has been tendered to the state. And they're going to consider it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, can I have this reset for the second week in October for a plea deadline date? Yes. All right, October 12th. After that date, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand? All right, once you sign your reset form, you're excused. Armando Rodriguez. Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 10589, State of Texas versus Armando Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Megan Enriquez for Armando Rodriguez.
Are you Armando Rodriguez? I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading? Oh,
do.
sorry, just one moment. I forgot to put this on the record. You've been recently appointed.
That's correct, Your Honor, and I was just going to address that with the court. I was appointed today.
All right. And counsel, are you prepared to proceed even though you were appointed today?
I am, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, do you understand that this attorney has been appointed to represent you today at the request of your previous attorney? And do you understand that your previous attorney is out for medical issues? All right. And do you understand that your attorney has 10 days to prepare for any hearing that we would have?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Knowing that, do you still wish to continue with this or would you
Yes,
like a reset?
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Have you had a chance to review those with your attorney and did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Armando Rodriguez Jr. who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 10589 for the offense of theft under $2,500 enhanced on June 1st, 2023 for a period of 3 years? Is that you? All right, state.
Violated condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Armando Rodriguez Jr. did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of July 2023 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, state waives all the violations.
Any objection? Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. It's going to be for the defendant to have a TAP and mental health evaluation while in custody and to follow the TAP recommendations. If it's inpatient, then bring back to court just to figure out where to go from there. And then ISP.
Okay. All right, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement was that the state would recommend that you deny the motion to revoke, continue him on supervision and alter and amend for those conditions.
Yes.
Judge, one last thing, the state is also going to take into consideration its night mag number 726681.
All right. So, Mr. Rodriguez, what I'm being told is that they want to continue to work with you, that they think maybe your issues can be addressed by a TAP evaluation. The TAP evaluation is where they interview you to see if there are any drug or alcohol issues. And then they want to do a mental health evaluation to see if there's something that we can help you with in that area. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, so that's going to take place while in custody. And counsel, if for any reason you think that it's taking too long, you can always bring it back to court and we'll see what's going on.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Rodriguez, is there anything else that you need other than for me to follow this agreement? All right, so I'm going to deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include a TAP evaluation. We'll do the mental health evaluation, and that's to take place in custody. And I'm going to take in consideration night mag number 726681. All right, we can go out the record. Mr. Rodriguez, in this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. Don't just disappear. If there's an issue, no matter what the issue is, talk to probation. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can come to court and address it with me. All right? All right, thank you. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes. I don't think the state has conferred with them. All right, we have. All right, have you all conferred with Anton Hayek? Yes, just give me one moment. Let me do this very quickly. Right. Norma. This goes in the Gomez. All right, Mr. Hayek. Have you conferred with the state?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's
All right,
a
well, when are you able to-
MTAG.
When are you able to be in court, Mr. Hayek?
Could be there tomorrow.
All right, we'll put it on Monday.
Let me look at Monday, Judge. I'm sorry, just today it's been a day I wish I hadn't gotten out of bed.
Oh, but you're out of bed, but you're still, at your office. You're not at the courthouse, so that's a good thing.
And hadn't, not if I don't keep you happy.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't really
happy.
catch that we were set today or that it wouldn't be a Zoom.
That's okay. And is your client Mr. Knight? All right, it's
No,
Eric
my
Johnson.
client's Johnson.
All right, so what we'll do is we're going
Can
to
I
recall
just talk
this.
to the state?
No,
Can I just
we're
talk
going
to
to
the
recall
state
this for
quickly
next
now?
week. No, we're going to recall
All right,
this
how
for
about-
next week. Ms. Ferguson, do
how
you want to
about
put
the
this on Thursday
27th?
of next week?
No, I'm out of town. How about Wednesday, the 27th?
Are you all okay to be here for Wednesday? All right, Mr. Johnson,
I'm
we're going
here.
to bring you back on Wednesday.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Norma.
All right, Norma, does Mr. Knight have an attorney? Because it shows on here. Mr. Knight, where's? All right, we'll take. Deputy Laura, can you hold him? Yes. That's okay. Can you recall him for Monday? All right, and I'll speak with Mr. Knight. So everyone, we're going to recall Mr. Knight for Monday. It assumes that maybe he wants to represent it himself. And so that will be for the 25th. And for all the other attorneys who are strolling in here late, your case is being recalled for another day that is convenient for the court. And who do you have? So I'm taking up the matters with Umberto Saldana and Linda Corley, and that is all.
I don't know if you found it, but I got it printed out.
Who? Who are you here for? I'll take yours up, but. And it's for Patrick Sanchez. All right, I'll take that up.
Judge, I talked to Mr. Fairhead here, and he doesn't have any objections. Basically, my client has two cases. This misdemeanor was
If you all write it in there.
yeah, I'm just trying to take a no contact order for a complaint that's standing on this case.
Okay,
So,
all right.
just have him sign that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Have you all finished the paperwork on Sanchez?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. And then Umberto Saldana. That's gonna have to, Deputy Laura, if you'll hold on to Mr. Polly for this afternoon, and we'll do it during a break. I'm gonna take this plea, and then we're taking a break. All right, so Patrick Sanchez. Thank you. It's been a very busy day. Court is calling 2021 CR 4087 State of Texas versus Patrick Sanchez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Gary, Your Honor.
Defense?
Orlando Castañon.
All right, and are you Patrick Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery and did you review it with your client? Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Sanchez, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're waiving the paragraph.
Any objections to the waiver?
No, Judge.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault against a public servant? That's a first-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
No.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
No.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He's been able to assist his defense. Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Sanchez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand, according to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison and there are no applications? Is that the plea?
It is, Judge.
Is that the plea?
It is wrong.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any motions?
No, Judge.
All right. Did you understand that if I find that there was a weapon involved, that I could make a determination that there's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Knowing that, do you still wish to continue with the plea?
You want to move forward with the plea?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, state exhibit number 1 with all these attachments.
Any objections?
No, Judge.
Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, and there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. So what was happening with you that day?
I was going through some positive numbing in my life. I just had, my mom had passed away and it was just a bunch of.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your mom's passing, but from here on out, everything that you do, you need to try to make her proud, okay?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe excuse me.
Yes. Thank you for your patience. Yes. And then we're going to be back at probably more like 1:45.